Hey, hey! Is anyone here? Generation G18? Estamos online. Hey, 1 second, guys. Supongo que están.
Hola, guys.
Supongo que como que miran al mundo. No, sí saben. Sí. Okay, guys, so the idea of this webinar is to go through questions you may have about your visa process and also about the expenses you can already make that are covered by the grant. To know these questions, there's a group chat where you can write them. I'll introduce myself. My name is Paula N.A. I'm your community builder and also the HR manager for Startup Chile. So happy to meet you guys kind of in person. So I know many of you have had questions regarding your visa process, so I'll just start out by clarifying how the process is, because maybe I was unclear in the beginning with the instructions, and I apologize for that. So for all of you who are foreigners, the idea is that you fill in the form that was sent out in step 2, where you put where you're from, where you're going to issue your visa, and which consulate, and your passport number, and also for your team members. And for that, then we receive your information and we send it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There is only such an amount of numbers of such an amount of information we can send per day. This is why the visa process might take long. Once the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is okay with all the information, they send the information to your consulate of choice, and that's when you can go with your passport and get your visa stamped on there. And also that is the moment when you receive your invitation letter. And that is one of the documents that is required to issue your visa for all of those who've had troubles or questions about what are the documents you have to have. Okay, so I can't really see any questions here in the chat. So it would be nice if you guys could tell me if you can hear me, if you're able to connect. Okay, so I can't really see any of your questions, for which I will. Give me 1 second. Hey, Sophie.
Hey guys, I'm just gonna help out Paula here. Just a second.
Exactly. Thank you, Sophie. Sorry, guys. Okay, so now I can see your questions. Okay, so perfectly loud and clear. Thank you guys for your feedback. So yeah, start asking your questions. Shoot. Okay, so you have a consulate. Joao Torres is asking. He has a consulate in the city of Porto in Portugal, but it isn't in the list you sent. May I do it there? Yeah. You should call the consulate first, but it shouldn't be a problem. If there's a Chilean consulate there, then you should be able to issue it there. But because every consulate has its own timings and procedures, it's better if you just call them and have them confirm this. About the visa, Alex wants to know. There is a trouble sometimes at the website, so we did not register yet all members. Okay, so I'm not sure specifically what troubles you have encountered, but so one of them might be the fact that you don't have all your documents yet, and one of those documents is the invitation letter. You will get that invitation letter as soon as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs sends your information to the consulate. So don't worry about that. I know you guys can feel a bit anxious about this process, but it might take a bit of time, but all of your invitation letters will be sent at the given moment. So don't worry about that. So Jose Solar has a question. Hi, I applied as a natural person, but now we have a route for the local company. Can I receive the ground in the account of the business now? Jose, so in about 10 minutes, Conrad Fernandez will be joining us. He knows everything about finances and all of the expenses you can do with your money, but I'll go back to your question as soon as he gets here. Nicolas Lopez, what's the average time from application until actually get the papers? Okay, this varies, but it could take up to 20 or 25 days. Some of you already have received your invitation letters. It depends also when you filled out the form. It also depends on your country and the consulate you're gonna issue it at, but I'd say like a week to 20 or 25 days since you fill out the form. Where do I get the medical examination certificate? Could it be with a private doctor, or it has to be a public hospital? Okay, Alan Boris, this will depend on your country. So you should also call your consulate and ask them what kind of medical background you need, depending on which consulate you're going to issue it. Alex Astaviev, I mean, website for visa application, it just doesn't work sometimes. Next step is not working. So you're not the first one to have problems with the website. For some reason, sometimes it crashes. You put next, and nothing happens. What other people have done it seems really simple, is just try to log into another computer and do that process in another computer, and it has worked. So try to do that. So here's Conrad, the man I was talking about yesterday. Conrad, we have one question at the moment about expenses. It's Jose Solar. He wants to know, he says he applied as a natural person, but that now he has a route for his local company. So can he receive the grant in the account of the business now?
No, that's not possible. We have to stick to what the application information is. So if you apply as a natural person, the contract will be done as a natural person. So so the money is transferred to this natural person. It cannot go to a company. What you can do, okay, if you review the terms and conditions, okay, is that if you incorporate or you already have a company from your own for the company, then you can after a small process with your account executive, you can apply and show the expenses of that company. Okay, show the invoices for the expenses that you have as a company. Okay, mm-hmm. But the money is always transferred to the beneficiary who's describing the contract and the application. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Conrad. Okay, so Joe wants to know, in order for us to get the invitation letter, all we need is to fill the Google form you sent, or is there anything else? No, all you have to do is be part of Seed Generation 18 cohort and then fill out the form and then just wait for your invitation letter to be sent to you. Once the invitation letter is received, you can make an appointment with your consulate and go and get your visa stamped. Remember, it has to be for 365 days. Andre has a question. Andre actually has advice for Alex. He just says to switch to the Spanish language version of the website, to the Spain version. Margarita, the same. Paulina Salazar, when are we going to know who is our account executive? Okay, so step 3 will be sent out so in that step, you will know who your account executive is. Okay, so let's see if we have any other questions. No.
La primera que...
Okay, so your questions are loading. We'll get to them as soon as they appear on screen. Okay, apart from the founders, how many members can apply for the startup? Okay, so step 3 will be sent out So in that step, you will know who your account executive is. Okay, so going back to Kuman Suez questions, apart from the founders, how many members can apply for the startup? So there's only one team leader, but you can have 2 team members, and the rest are employees. I am Chilean, living abroad. Do I need any visa? Jose Solar. Okay, so if you have your Chilean citizenship, then that shouldn't be an issue. How many members?
¿Qué pasa? ¿Pero por qué estáis viendo todo el video?
Can apply for the startup. Esto es lo que estamos viendo nosotros.
Sí, ¿por qué estáis viendo todo? ¿Por qué no me interesa esto?
No, porque eran links.
Ah, ya. Es que uno debería ver eso. Pero es que claro, ahí no veis la pregunta.
Okay, sorry guys, we're having a bit of connection issues. I'll just go through the next question. I hope you guys can hear me well. Can you guys hear me well, or is there too much echo? And the rest are employees. Smart. Okay, so Jose Solar, if you're Chilean and have your citizenship, you should be fine. Sari Garzon, hi, my question is to Conrad. I applied as a local company, but I do not have the bank account yet. I could receive the money in my personal account?
Hi, Sally. No. The answer is no. The money needs to be transferred to the beneficiary. Okay. In this case, if you apply with your Chilean company, and that's the beneficiary. Okay. So the money should go to that company's account. If you don't have a company account, we can help you to get one. And Paula and their team are going to help everyone to get the bank accounts, either if you're a person or a company.
Exactly.
Okay? So you won't have any problem with that, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Miguel Spear also has a question. He says he's gonna have 30,000 USD, 2 team members, and they're gonna receive 700 Chilean pesos per month. Can we spend that on housing and personal things? Is that money independent of the $30,000?
There are 2 separate things. One is the housing budget. The housing budget goes to just housing, okay, rent, okay, utilities, and gastos comunes, which are here called common expenses or expenses that you have in the building, okay? That's the only thing that you can use that money for. And then you have your salaries, which are monthly salaries. And that can apply only if you apply as a company or if you go through the process and create a company here in Chile. If you don't create a company here in Chile, you cannot get the salary, okay, the monthly salary. And we're going to explain how to do it in the first weeks, okay, here. So you can do that ASAP, okay? So you can either use the housing budget or get your monthly salaries. You cannot get both, okay? Mm-hmm. Obviously, I recommend you to go and get the salary, okay? But for the first 1 month or 2 months, while you are incorporating the company, you can get the housing budget, okay, mm-hmm. for that period of time, and then start having the salaries for every month, okay?
It's important for you guys to count on at least $7,000 for the first couple of months, because the grant money will be allocated in your account
1 month after you...
for a month or 2 after you arrive. So you have to have enough budget to be here and survive, right, during that period of time. So Nicolas Lopez asks, besides air tickets and insurance, what other expenses can be allocated in this stage?
Well, the visa fees, okay, but only that. Air tickets, insurance, travel insurance, and the visa and the visa fees. That's the only thing, and all the necessary requirements that you need for the visa. That's all included. That.
I have a question for you, Conrad. Health insurance?
If you want to, we recommend you to get travel insurance, okay? Because you don't, maybe you have an insurance back home, but you don't have one here. So we don't want you to get to have a bad day if something happens, okay? So we recommend you to get an insurance for at least 1 month while you're getting here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lane wants to know, if we were in TSF, can we request to have the same executive?
You can, but
we can't guarantee it.
This was already decided. The company's portfolio has already been divided, and well, you're going to get that information in 2 more weeks. We've tried to accommodate you with the same mechanic executives that you had in the S Factory program, but maybe some of you won't be able to do it because we have to organize the portfolios in terms of industries. So for some, that's going to be the case, but for others, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Alan Boris wants to know, if we're going to use part of the money as wages for the team members, how do we make the ticket? Are we going to use the route we generate in July?
If we're going to use it.
Can you rephrase that, Alan, and we'll get to that later, because we don't really understand your question.
Yeah.
Okay, so Giancarlo wants to know, is it possible to change the team leader later? No, sorry, it's not possible.
Yeah.
Rodrigo Fala, question. So we have to wait for the invitation letter before filling the SAC forms? Having trouble with that forms, the page doesn't load. At the end, it says guardar y salir. Yes, you have to wait for the invitation letter. Sorry for not being clear about that before. As soon as you receive the invitation letter, fill the website form and make an appointment with your consulate of choice. Ricardo Russo, question. I am currently in Chile and I'm flying back in Italy next week. Do all the paperwork. Can I pass the ticket as an expense? It's a round trip ticket. So he's here, he's flying out to Italy, and then he's coming back for the program. Can he reimburse that ticket?
No. It's not acceptable because all the activities should be done during the period of the program, not before that, okay? And right now, the only expenses that you can have are the visa tickets, their airport tickets to come here for the program, okay? Mm-hmm. If you're already in Chile, that's an activity for maybe your company, but that's not inside the program, okay? Mm-hmm. So it's not acceptable, sorry.
Atilana wants to know if the salaries can be paid to employees even if they're not living in Chile.
You can. I recommend you first to go and read the terms and conditions. Okay, about the expenses. The salaries for the team members are only for the team members. Okay, specified in the application form. Okay, not other people. If you want to get employees, normally employees are where your company is. That we expect that is in Chile. If you already have a company working in a foreign country, in the States, in Colombia, whatever, those employees are going to be paid from Chile. Okay, and like that, you cannot have employees. Those are going to be outsourcing expenses, okay? So you should read the terms and conditions and find the subtitle about outsourcing, okay? And read that carefully, okay? And then you can ask about that to your accounting executive once you're assigned to one, okay?
Mm-hmm. So Brian Fletcher wants to know, besides the leader and 2 team members, can we get Chilean visas for employees? Well, it will depend. It varies from case to case. So please write me a personal email through admissions and I'll get to you depending on who your employee is, if you've already hired him, etc. Okay, so Margarita wants to know, is a team leader able to travel from Chile in between official events during the program?
Yes, they're allowed, but they need approval from their account executive because, well, if you have personal trips, we expect you to be 100% dedicated to the startup, okay? But we understand that sometimes you have personal trips. Those are accepted if you don't miss any event, and obviously the expenses are not going to be accepted. If you have business trips, again, with the pre-approval from your account executive, this can be made obviously in between the events, or, well, in extreme case, you have to talk about that with your account executive. The idea is that you already have a plan, okay? Once you're here, when are you going to have those trips, okay? When are you going to talk to clients or potential investors or anything else, okay? But they're accepted, but it depends on your plans and their account executive.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when are Chileans going to receive the invitation letter? Paulina wants to know this. So the invitation letter it's not necessary for Chileans. It's just to help foreigners to get issue their visa outside of Chile. So don't worry, you're invited in spite you not having an invitation letter. Okay, so Marco Ruiz wants us to repeat the date of step 3. So that is 2 Mondays from now. At the end of this webinar, I'll give you the exact date. Rodolfo Queiroz, hello, how much is needed to establish a company? Lawyers, fees, etc., not individual company.
Rodolfo, well, that depends. Every lawyer has their own different fees, okay? And we do have some lawyers and lawyer offices that work with us, okay? They have been validated, but they have standard fees depending on the type of company. I don't have the fees, how much they charge right now, but you are going to be able to know about that in a few weeks from now. Okay, we're going to provide you with more information on that. If you want more information, you have to wait until your account executive, and he will provide you with the information as soon as possible. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay, so the date for when step 3 is going to be sent out is Monday, the 5th of June. Okay, so next Monday. Hi, can we please get in advance a calendar with all the activities and events for the next 6 to 7 months? Okay, so you will eventually. For now, all you need to know is that you arrive July the 3rd, then the 4th and the 5th, we register your visa at the PDI, and then the 7th, we issue a route for you and open a bank account for you guys. So the first week is 100% mandatory. It's also very advisable to be here during the second week because that's where all of the administrative issues happen. The workshops, and it's actually also very important for you guys to meet each other.
Yeah, the first 3 weeks are crucial for you, okay? If you guys want to have a good start at the program, the first 3 weeks are crucial, okay? You have to be here, okay? Concerning about the identification, opening the account, signing the contracts, getting the first few meetings with your account executive, so that way you can set up a shop and start working, okay? If you don't do it, and then the contract will not be signed, and you'll have to wait more and more time for the money, okay? Mm-hmm. So we have all set up for you guys to use those weeks for that. If you don't do it, that will impact your company, okay? So that's why we're telling you that's crucial, okay?
Mm-hmm. So someone wants to know that he's traveling with his family. Can he request medical insurance for everybody, wife and kids?
Unfortunately not. The expenses are only for the team members and the team leader. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Ian McKinnon wants to know, do all 3 co-founders need a visa in order to be reimbursed for their salaries from the Chilean company?
Only the members of the company who travel to Chile with the visa and get the route can be eligible for the salary, okay? Because they have to be employed by the Chilean company, okay, in order to be employees, okay? If they don't come to Chile, if you want to pay them, they will have to be paid as outsourcing. But if they're in the team, in the application, they will not be able to pay either as an employee or as outsourcing, okay? They won't be able to do it. Okay? So if you have team members and you want to pay them a salary, a team member from the application, they have to come to Chile with a visa and get their ID at least.
So Federico Bianchi wants to know, hi there, my partner is the team leader who will be during the whole program. In my case, I will be traveling 1 week a month and maybe from October onwards for some weeks. Should I apply for the visa? Yes, it's advisable for you to apply for the visa, but you have to have filled the form by yesterday. So if you did, then we're good, but if you didn't, then you're not in time for us to assist you with your visa process. Kumanzu, in my budget, can I include room, food, and transportation expenses?
No, Kuman, please read the terms and conditions. Clearly, you did not read the terms and conditions, so please do it, okay? Because you cannot use the money for food or transportation inside the city, okay? Please read the terms and conditions. You can use the money of the housing budget for your room or an apartment, okay? Or renting just a room in an apartment. Yeah, you can also do that. Yeah. Okay, so Giancarlo wants to know if the team leader and members will receive a salary. Conrad was pretty clear about this with previous questions. So Miguel Spear, are air tickets and health insurance will be included. Any airlines or insurance companies? If you mean like a specific company, no, that's not, you can choose whoever you want. Yeah.
Camino Lutke has a question. He doesn't quite understand. Okay, so we need a company bank account to receive the money, or can be transferred to the personal account of the team leader. Okay, so yeah.
Again, Camilo, it depends if you applied as a company or as a natural person. If you apply as a natural person, then the money is going to be transferred to that natural person. If you apply as a company, then the money needs to be transferred to that company's bank account. And for that, obviously, you need an account from the company, okay? Not the team leader. It's not the same person. It's a different person. It's a legal person.
Perfect. So Margaret wants to know, she says she only opened her company a few months ago and doesn't have a bank account yet. Does she need to open an account before she leaves her country, or wait to get one in Chile?
Again, sorry.
Yeah.
I opened a company a few months ago. Margaret, I think you're confused because clearly you're not in Chile. You applied as a natural person, I think, and the money is going to be transferred to you as a natural person, not to a company. Okay. If you open a company here in Chile, we can also help you to get a bank account for the company, but the money from the subsidy, from the program, is going to be transferred to you, okay? Never this money is going to be transferred to a company, because you applied as a natural person and you are the beneficiary, not anyone else.
So Abhishek says he's a team member but will not be able to join in July because of current customer engagements. Will this have impact on him? Will sessions, workshops, etc. be repeated at a later stage? Okay, so the only person who has to mandatorily be here and assist events is the team leader. So in this sense, it won't have a negative impact on you. And will sessions, workshops, etc. will be repeated? No, unfortunately not. So yeah, it doesn't really have any impact on the mandatory stages of the program, but it's always advisable for you to join and receive the benefits of this program. Manuel Toro. Hi, y'all. We have some questions. One of our team members, Nicolas, is a Chilean. Our CEO, Jorge, and me are going to travel sometimes. What kind of expenses are included for Chileans that have to travel because of business?
For the sake of business trips, well, you can use the money for the tickets, for the air tickets, for the event tickets. If you're going to a congress or something like that, you can also use the money for it, and accommodation. Okay, hotel, those kind of things. No food, no drinks. That's not allowed. Okay, that's why you have you will have the salary. Yeah. So only air tickets, airline tickets, accommodation, and tickets for the events. Those are the things that are accepted.
Okay, so exponential growth, that's his alias. The number 5 form says, okay, so activities in Chile, the name of the employer, address, city, and employer. Who is the employer? That's in the visa form. Would Start of Chile be their employer?
It's in the visa form.
Mm-hmm.
But have you seen the form?
No, because it's just for.
Ah. No, I don't know what's this.
Yeah. Okay. So let us go through that question and get back to you. Write us an email to the admissions mail.
Yeah.
But the second question, which is like documentación adjunta, which means annex documentation, that's the place where you have to annex your invitation letter. Okay, so Tala has a question. Do we need to get the medical certificate and other docs before the invitation letter, or should we wait for the invitation letter first? No, get all of the other documents before. Once you receive the invitation letter, you should make an appointment with your consulate like as soon as possible. That should be your last step, receiving the invitation letter, getting an appointment with a consulate, and going to the consulate to get your visa stamped. Nicolas, I am Chilean, but I live in Canada, so I won't request visa. Is my air ticket covered as well?
Sorry.
So he's Chilean, but he lives in Canada.
Yeah.
And so he won't be applying to the visa, but he will be traveling to Chile. Is his air ticket reimbursed?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Adiliana, will I receive the invitation letter? When? Okay, so this will vary. Depends when you filled out the form, but between 1 and 25 days approximately. Tala, question 2. Any exact date on when we will get the invitation letter? I am from Pakistan. No, sorry, no exact date, but as soon as possible. Juan Carlos Lave, what is the date for step 3? So it's June the 5th, the date for step 3. Jeronimo Villaseca, when will we know about the dates of the official events the team leader have to attend to? You will receive a calendar overview with the mandatory dates in step 3, so next Monday. Alex, once again, about the travel and/or health insurance, please. Do we need to buy just travel insurance, but for the 6 months, or travel insurance should be short and health insurance we should buy in Chile?
Alex, that's your decision. We can cover travel insurance. Okay, you can use the money for the travel insurance for the period of time you're here in Chile. Okay, health insurance is a different thing. Okay, and I think that if you want to get health insurance, you'll do that, as you said here, when you get here. You cannot use the money for health insurance directly, okay, for anyone. If you are an employee of the company, if you establish a company here in Chile and you employ yourself in the company, you will be paying payroll to your employees, and you could be one of those. And in that, you obviously can include health insurance, okay? That's the way you can do it. But if not, you will have to pay it yourself. So the only thing that you can cover is travel insurance, okay? This international travel insurance. Mm-hmm. That's what we can cover.
Perfect. Okay, so Sebastian wants to know, do you have defined what's going to happen on the week of the 10th of July? We were denied a participation in a key event for our company. No funds from Startup Chile were going to be used. Okay, Sebastian, so the reason why you have to be here during the first 2 to 3 weeks of the beginning of the program is, as Conrad pointed out before, many important and essential things happen in those weeks. We wish for all of them to happen during the first one, but historically, and it varies from startups to startups, some happen later. So that's the reason why you were denied participation during that time. Okay, so will we get any advance amount for the insurance, travel, and visa? Abhishek wants to know.
Will we get any advance amount? No, you cannot. It's not possible to transfer any advance. Okay, all those expenses that you're going to have right now are going to be, you can say, reimbursed in the first payment. Okay, and then you'll show us the documents for those expenses. Okay, for those first expenses, as the visa, we'll just ask you for a photocopy of the visa and your passport. For the air tickets, you'll have the emails with the tickets and the PDFs with the airline ticket. That's it. And we'll ask you for the payment, the payment information, okay, from your credit card or your bank account, whichever you use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Andres Tani has a question. You must complete this step before Monday, 29th of May. Is this due date only for the Google form or also for the temporary residency visa? Okay, so it's only for the Google form. With that information, we send out this information to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who approves it and gets the information to the consulate you're going to issue your visa with. Can a team member take a salary from the grant without being in Chile? No.
The person can travel, okay? But the person needs to come to Chile in order with a visa and get an ID, okay, a route here in order to be employed in a company and then apply for the salary, okay? If the team member doesn't come to Chile, he will not be able to do it, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Sebastian wants to know what guarantees you have to give in order to get the grant. That's in the terms and conditions, so please go through that once again. Rita Brata, if we decide to go for insurance model instead of reimbursement model, can the insurance amount be reimbursed from the total grant of 30,000 USD, or will that insurance amount come from outside the grant?
No, you can use the money from the grant to pay for that insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you'll have to, for that insurance policy, you'll have to pay before you get the money. So you'll have to do that in the first 2 weeks. That's one other thing very important for you to do during the first 2 to 3 weeks. And then you'll when you get the money, well, you can reimburse yourself for that money.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for those of you who have questions on the calendar and events, that will be sent out in step 3, which is June 5th. Okay, so you'll just have to wait for that. How much time does it take to establish a company in Chile?
Well, you can use the process that the government here has, where you can get the company established in 1 day. Okay. But if you are creating an international company, we always advise you to have a lawyer, okay, that helps you to create the company that you actually need. Okay, so you can do the first step by yourself in a website that we're going to show you here when you get here, and so anyone can do it for themselves. Just having an ID, you can create a company, but we do recommend to have a lawyer's assistance. And if you do it like that, it can take from 1, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It depends on the complexity of the company, basically.
From what date on can we start doing other expenses, such as hiring developers?
That just normally we accept other expenses after you get to Chile, okay? After the program starts, okay? But you can already talk about and get approvals for those expenses with your account executive when you get the account executive. So you'll have to wait at least 2 more weeks so you can start working with them about the expenses that you have.
Okay, great. So many of you are making very specific questions about your startups. Once you're assigned account executives, you can go through these questions with them, because this webinar is not meant to last 2 hours or not very long. So I'm just going to go through the most general questions that all of you are probably interested in. So Anas Yassin wants to know, they are 3 founders. Is there any way the 3 of them can get the invitation letter at the same time, as we will have to travel to UAE for visa process? Okay, so the only person who receives the invitation letter is the team leader, but when you filled out the Google form, there is a possibility to fill in the information for your team members and also for significant others that are coming to Chile. If you did that and you included the team members, then they can process their visas with the same invitation letter, which is only issued for the team leader. Okay, so don't worry about that. There will be only 1 invitation letter sent out for each startup in the name of the team leader, and there will be annexed information of team members and significant others that will be able to get their visas with that same letter. Okay, that was just to be clear. Okay, so immersive news, just to be clear, in order to receive a salary, our company must be incorporated in Chile?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Besides opening a Chilean bank account, will Startup Chile also help the foreigners in this program get a credit card, as we don't have any credit history in Chile?
You will help you to get a bank account, and that bank account includes, I think, also a credit card. Okay, with a small credit, but you will be able to have one. Yeah.
Okay, Rodrigo Fala has a very great contribution. He says, he asked in the consulate what to put in employer or place of activities, and in his consulate they told him to put Santiago, since that is the place where all the activities are gonna be taking place. Okay, so just put Santiago in that part of the form. I'm just gonna go through your questions a bit fast to see if there are any other general questions. So I have a team of 11 people in Pakistan. Will I be able to pay them if I register a company in Chile?
Only if you pay them as outsourcing. Yeah.
Okay.
So review the terms and conditions and review the subtitle about outsourcing.
Okay. Okay, so he has to travel to issue his visa. Will that air ticket be able to be reimbursed? Okay.
Yes. Yes. If you have to go to the Emirates to get the visa, right? Because that's where the consulate is. So yeah, that it's accepted for you to reimburse the expenses for those trips also. Yeah. And also, if you're in a city and you have to go to other city inside the country for the consulate, those traveling expenses are also accepted. Okay, so
Juan Carlos Lavez says he applied as a natural person. Can he configure a company once the program starts and then hire people?
Yes, Juan Carlos, you can do that, and please review the terms and conditions again about registering a company with us. Okay, so that way you can show those expenses. Okay, and account for those expenses with the money of the program.
Okay, so Sebastian Schirmer, terms and conditions says about guarantees, not specified what type they must be. Boleta de garantía, certificado.
Sebastian, I encourage you to read them again, because we do specify what kind of garantía, okay, or insurance policy. We, in the program, you're going to learn about this once your account is assigned to you, okay? Because we take care of some part of that process, okay, of the insurance policy in order to get the money in advance, okay? So don't worry, just wait a few weeks and we'll let you know about everything you need about that.
Okay, so Rita Verata wants to know if he takes a Spanish course now in India for and then can he reimburse that course from the grant?
Yes, that can be done, but we'll ask you for the invoices and expenses, but you again have to wait for the account executive, okay? He's the only person who can approve an expense, okay, for you, no one else.
Camilo Lutke wants to know if it's true that Corfo can freeze your bank account to investigate if the funds are being correctly expensed.
Camilo, no, Corfo cannot freeze bank accounts. That's not possible.
Okay, Andre wants to know if non-members can come to Chile and help us for some short time. I mean, will they have an access to workplace and events? If they are employees, they have access to events. And the workplace is for the team leader. Every team leader will always have a place in this workplace. But team members will depend on how much space is left. So one startup can usually use from 1 through 5 places in the co-works, but no more than 5. Visa. Okay. Okay, why are you offering additional 50,000 for living outside of Santiago? If we decide to go with this offer, will we be able to increase our salaries? Like go regional.
Yeah, if you read the terms carefully, you find out that you can apply for an extension of the program of another 6 months if you decide to relocate to one other city in Chile. Okay, outside of Santiago, and for that we give you an additional $15,000 approximately. Okay, no, you cannot get an increase in your salaries for that. Okay, the salary is set in a fixed rate. Okay, so the idea of that relocation is that you have more impact in the economy of that city. That's the idea.
Okay, so Alex wants to know if they can pay salaries to their significant others. No. No,
Alex, no. The money is for the project, not for your family or significant others. If your co-founder is your significant other, that's a different thing. That's a team member. Okay?
Okay, so someone, Helpstay from Ireland, says their consulate wants them to be screened for infectious diseases. Which diseases should we get screened for exactly? This is a very particular question you'll have to go through with your consulate, because this kind of thing varies from consulate to consulate. I did make an intro for you with someone from Ireland, so I hope you can solve this question with him. Sebastian wants to know, we have several events planned in the year outside of Chile, which do not require the Startup Chile funds. I assume it's a matter of coordinating this with the AM, right? AM is account executive, yeah. I assume.
Yeah, accounting. Yeah, you'll have to coordinate with them, with the plan and everything, and that will be accepted. Yeah, if it's on the line of the objectives that your startup needs to accomplish, then it will be accepted. Yeah.
Okay, so these are the last questions we're answering. The housing budget for one person is 500,000 Chilean pesos. If the place is 700,000 Chilean pesos, can I pay the difference out of pocket?
Yes, you can pay that out of pocket, but remember that the 500 for one person or the other figure for 2 people includes rent, okay, utilities and common expenses, and you can have rent for more than that. We'll just accept we'll just accept 500 or 600 depending on the budget.
Okay, so Andrea Higuera, hi, I'm looking for an apartment near to the co-working space. Could you please give us some information about the location of the co-working space? Okay, Andrea, I know you live in Chile, so it's close, it's in the street Monjitas, which is the center of Santiago. You will receive information about this co-working space in the next step, but just so you know, it's Monjitas in the center of Santiago. Can we create the Chilean company before July?
Yes, Ian, you can do that.
Okay, can we get
but I think that you have to come to Chile at least and get the ID. Okay, if not, you're not going to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
VJ wants to know, can we get a person to Chile who is not a team member but is an employee? If yes, will the travel cost be reimbursed for the person?
If he's an employee, as Paula already let you know, we can help you with the visa, okay? But travel costs are not reimbursable for people who are not one team member, okay? If they're employees, you can pay for their salaries, but nothing more than that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, seems like we covered most of your questions. Some of you have very particular questions, so send them out to the admissions mails and be patient with the slow response. There are many people who have many inquiries, and we are getting to them the best way we can. So thank you for joining us today. Good luck with all your visa processes. Wait for your invitation letter. As soon as you get it, remember to make an appointment with your consulate and wait for step 3, which will be sent out next Monday, 5th of June. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys. Take care.